What's up, everybody? I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably wondering, what it takes to build a mini bike and whatnot, and how much it's going to cost and everything. So, um, one of the things I was surprised in was the cost of these, and I know that's probably why GTs doesn't give you the bolts because, man, that's going to make their frames a lot more expensive if they're providing these bolts. I did go to McMaster and Carr and find these very reasonably priced. So I got all three of the bolts for about $30, but it's grade 8, yellow, zinc, anodized, yada yada. Okay, so basically what you need to build a mini bike, okay, is a frame. Okay, I got the GT's one. It's just the one everybody uses out west. It's super lightweight. Okay, it's 7/8 inch tube. It's super lightweight. And I think that's probably the reason why everybody does it. Plus, they have a scrub brake, okay, which is you're turning a lever which touches the tire and stops the bike. So you don't need any clutch braking, no levers, no extra crap, like you do on this one. You need all kind of extra crap to stop it, and it don't stop for shit. So, the clutch. A lot of people use like a $50. What is that, Mega Monster clutch or something like that. And if you're over 150 pounds, you're going to want something like this. This is a 2-disc, which a lot of the big drag race guys will run a 3 to 4 disc clutch, okay? This bad boy right here was $230, okay? So the frame is one of your big investments. The clutch should be, and this engine is a sleeper I bought from Studs Racing. Okay, it looks like it's just a basic engine, okay, but she's far from it. This has, the better block. It's bored out, bigger piston, forged piston rods. I mean, the heavy springs, the rockers, for the lifters, everything. It's got all the goodies in it already, okay, and that's kind of why I did that, because I didn't really want to spend the time. I'm an old impatient fucker. And so I ended up coughing up the big coin for this one. So, but it'll work. When I put it in, I bolt it down, I pull it, it'll start. So to me, that is gold. So, but you don't need to do that. Okay, you can get yourself, well, this is a 225. A lot of the guys run the 212 because it's got so many parts. You just go get a Predator 212 like this one here, okay? And this frame is big enough, like this one, to allow you to just run the regular tank. So you don't need an external tank and hoses or any of that stuff. You just drop a motor, chain, tires, and you are rocking and rolling. So, and that's why it makes such a good drag frame. But you can get yourself one of these motors right here from Harbor Freight for like $1.25, okay? And all the engine parts are relatively cheap. I think a connecting rod, like billet, machined connecting rod, is like $30, something like that. 30 to 50, depending on what you get. Piston's about the same. I think the valve springs are like $15. You know what I mean? It's not really that expensive when you think about it. But, this one you got to pay to have somebody do it. They bored it out. I mean, they did all kinds of stuff. They changed the block. So, I mean, it's a race engine, and it's listed as so on Studs Racing. It's a 225 race engine. But like I said, you don't have to spend that kind of coin. Basically, your major investment is the frame, which a lot of people don't even paint them. The frame, the bolts that hold the frame, make the frame work, and the clutch were pretty much my biggest expenses. I think these wheels were, I don't know, $25, $35 each, something like that. I think the adapter was like $6.99. I think the sprocket was I don't know, 25 maybe. From I got all this from Volt's Mini Bikes, which is cool. They got the chrome tri-stars and they do that cool twist grind on them for you, which is pretty sweet. I think that looks pretty freaking dope right there. So, and then we run a slick tire in the back. Okay, so that scrub brake hits that tire and stops it. So the classes we'll be running will be a 5-inch mini bike. So this is a 5-inch. These are both 6 inches. Okay, this just got bigger tires on it. So this is also a 6-inch wheel. These are 8-inch wheels with 20-inch tires. Okay, much, much bigger. So when we run, we're gonna try to keep everybody the same. 5-inch wheels, you're gonna want to get the TriStars or something like that. I mean, so you have access to lots of sprockets, and you can also use the split sprockets like here on that holder. Okay, this is an aluminum split sprocket for 35 chain. That's what I'm running, is a 35. On my cart, I run a 219. It seems to do fine, and I'm not a light guy, so they run a smaller chain like that because there's more adjustment, okay, in your chain. When you start rocking like a 420, like this one, it's huge. The chain is huge and just kind of overkill. And I think something like this, you really don't need that. I mean, sure, it helps to have strong stuff, but I mean, unless you're running a billet block and all that crazy stuff, you just don't need it. And I don't think anybody around here will be running that kind of $6,000-$7,000 mini bike. You know what I mean? But pretty much the only place we can do this at is at that stunt lot. I mean, I've been studying the Google Maps, and Traverse City is pretty well watched and patrolled. So that's pretty much the only place that we're going to be able to do that, unless I can talk to someone and maybe throw money at them or something and see what happens. So, I mean, you know, a definite nicer venue would be nicer and probably bring more people. But we will plan to do this all next year, and it should be a frickin' riot. So let's continue on. So you're going to need a clutch, engine, chain, 35 chain. I think the chain with the big sexy legs on it, I want to say that's like $30, something like that. If you get the fat gold one, it's like 35. Comes with a spark plug, so you're good there. What else? The tires, I think that tire, the slick, was I don't know, I'd say maybe another $25, something like that. And I think the front tire was about the same. But we're waiting for studs to get me my front tire and tubes. With these wheels, you got to run an inner tube. That's what that hole is for. To put the stem through, and you need an angled stem. So, like I said, your biggest investment is going to be the frame and the clutch, if you decide to go with a fancy disc clutch. But most of you probably don't need it. But the nice thing here with a disc clutch is that it's pretty much on or off. When you hit the gas, it's just on, and you're going. You know what I mean? You'll see the guys in the videos, they rev it up, and the bike jumps up like that. But hey, that's drag racing. So I also got the pipe. I think the Volts mini bike pipe, even though the welds are kind of rough looking, it sounds the best. Okay, this one is I forget who it is. It's this one. Okay, which is like, I think, a center, low center or mid center, something like that. So it'll come out kind of like that. But like the Volts pipe, it just sounds better, sounds different. I mean, I think any trumpet end, this is just a, 3-stage? But the ones with the rolled trumpet ends seem to sound like an echo. It's pretty awesome. So I would recommend that, but that pipe's like $80, something like that. So that's going to cost you some money. I think that one was like 30 something. So also, if you get a GT's frame, you need to get a spring right here. If you get scrub brake, and you should get the scrub brake. So a frame like this would work too. Like an Azusa, this is an actual expensive mini mate that get hit in the front. But those will all work just fine as well. The Azusa frames are a little bit small though, which is nice. This one is bigger. You sit here, there's plenty of room, even for me. So I highly recommend this frame, but like I said, you don't need it. It will cost you $400 to get it here. The frame is $300. The shipping is another $100. If you get an Azusa, I think you can get an Azusa for $220 on one of them, like Go-Kart USA or something sites. But the shipping's like another $120. So I mean, you're saving about $100, but you're getting a lot smaller frame. So, like I said, I think this one beats it hands down. So, unless you get like RCF frames, which are super expensive, but you know, you get what you pay for. You know, Evan over there at Go Power Sports, he's built some really nice frames. So, you got to go check them out too. But I say that's like, you know, you're professional traveling the state mini bike drag racer dude with that frame. You know what I mean? You know, you'd have live axle and all that stuff. So live axle, we will definitely allow, I think, in the races. If you want to go big and get the live axle set up and all that and the disc brake on there, we'll run with you. We don't care. And I think we're going to do just like they do in the videos. We'll get us one of them gold wrestling belts, you know what I mean? And whoever's the fastest has the belt. Kind of like the number 1, number 2 headband, you know what I mean? You got to be cool to understand what I'm talking about there. But if you do, you're cool, man. So that's it. So, I mean, you got the frame is your biggest, usually clutch, engine, 35 chain, sprocket. I think I'm running a 53, and I ordered a 12 tooth for that. So that's a 4.4 ratio, which for between 4 and 5 is what I'm after. But I might have to go closer to 5, so we'll see. I want to say we're going to run an 1/8 mile. I think that's what's going to happen. Let's see, what else? I mean, I think you could probably get this done the right way with a motor, frame, and everything like that for probably about $1,500. You know what I mean? And when you buy it and then you work on it, you know, you don't have to spend all that money all at once. You can just start like I do. I started with the frame, you know, and then we did a little extra work, got a little extra money, so I picked that bad boy up because I just personally didn't want to work on it like I did this one. You know what I mean? This one wouldn't run before, but that's because I had the pulse pump on there. It was flooding the carb. So, yeah, pretty easy going. Everything just kind of bolts down. It's super simple. The only thing is a lot of the drag guys will run a lightweight flywheel and use a starter box, okay? Which definitely gives you more room on this side. Because here, there's not much, when you line this up with the holes, which it pretty much is, there's not much room for your foot there. You know what I mean? So basically what they do is they put their feet on the ground, okay? And there's no pushing. A lot of guys, I see they push and everything like that. We will require you to have feet on the ground, okay, or toe or something like that. And basically they just lift their feet up, you know, like punch it and lift their feet up. So I might look into the starter box thing, but it's such a pain in the butt. So, but there it is. If you want to know, it's a 12-minute video of me rambling about mini bikes. So hopefully you guys can get into it. It'll keep you out in the garage. You know, it's fun stuff. And you get to go fast and talk trash. So hope to see you out there next year.